What's happening? It's Wednesday, February 26th, 2025. Tanner, Drew, and Laura, we are live.
Yeah. Jaman.
Thank you. Jaman. I'm on life support this morning. I imagine Laura's feeling the same way.
Yeah.
After the Deftones concert last night, the first show of the first show of their first stadium tour, Drew.
Mm-hmm. And it looked grande by the videos you guys put up.
Yeah, it was a lot of people there. It was good. It was a sold-out show.
Sold-out show, which is pretty dope for their first arena tour. And at one point, Chino Marino, the lead singer of the Deftones, did say, "This is my hometown."
Yeah, there you go.
Gave a shout-out.
Declares it home.
Yeah, because we weren't sure. We've known that Chino's lived in Portland or at least the Lake Oswego area for 6 months, but we didn't know how much of that he wanted out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because we knew through like a friend of a friend and stuff.
Yeah.
And we weren't sure if he was trying to keep that private, even though we couldn't hold it in and we let it out anyway.
Well, now the secret's out.
But yeah, he said it on stage that this was his hometown. So he's lived in Oregon for a while, and it's pretty cool to have him here.
Yeah, and it looks like he's staying, so that's good news. We'll take more people. Well, and maybe this is the future of not just the wildfires, but the way California is, that we might get more stars living up here.
Jonathan Davis of Korn's going to move in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
David Draymond, they're all going to live next door to each other in Lake Oswego.
I think I saw both of them at Zoo Pants.
That's right.
They probably do shop at Zoo Pants.
Yeah, it would
Sure
be
they do.
yeah.
They're raw. They're like, oh, we're hardcore, but they definitely have some nice salmon and everything's
They're wearing Birkenstocks
range,
with
everything.
the socks,
Yeah.
just like the rest of them.
Exactly.
But it was a fun show. I was only slightly embarrassed because I was in a Target uniform.
Yeah.
Laura only said I could go if I wore my Target outfit, which is just a long story. If you missed it, you have to listen to the old podcast. Or we're going to recap the show with Beefwater later on because there were some. Dude, I had like 3 or 4 embarrassing moments in that stupid outfit last night.
But
and I blame Laura.
Worth it. I think the outfit looked great.
I only saw a little glimpse. I'm only seeing a little glimpse of it in that video you guys posted, but it looked pretty authentic.
I felt so ridiculous because it's just a bright red shirt. I feel like the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah.
And then the pants are I felt the pants are too loose because of the khakis. Anyway, we've got some videos if you want to see and live vicariously through us at 1059 The Brew or at Tanner, Drew, and Laura on IG and TikTok. Let's do this.
Let's get it on. And now, the big story.
This is where we go around the room sharing what we think the biggest stories of the day are. Who wants to go first?
I can go first. You guys, today is the 10th anniversary of the dress. Do you remember the dress?
Are you talking about is it blue or white?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
it-
it's been 10 years?
I know. Is it white or gold or
Well,
is
that's
it
what it was.
blue and black? That was the question.
It was blue and black.
Yes, it was blue and black, but a lot of people saw the white and gold, and it was a big debate on the internet. It was really before, I guess Instagram was around, but the photo took off on Tumblr, and then BuzzFeed picked it up, and it sparked this giant internet debate. And it was
Like people's brains are broken. They're seeing gold.
I know.
I was
but
like, what's going on
To be
here?
fair, there are 2 different versions of the picture. There's a picture of what it really looks like, and then there is the picture in question that does look white and gold, but they determined that it's due to the exposure and the lighting and all that stuff. So it is an optical illusion of sorts, but I just couldn't believe that has been
10 years
10
already.
years now.
I thought it was suggestive, too. You saw what you saw, but then at least I felt like when somebody said, well, what about the white and gold? And you looked at it long enough, you could kind of see where they were coming from.
Yeah.
But it was still blatantly the other one.
That was the same thing with the Yanni and Laurel audio clip.
Oh my God. That was a whole
Just
thing.
messing
too.
with that brain.
Yeah.
Well, the big story to me is there's a new study out that says poor sleep is linked to inflammation.
Oh, makes so much sense.
And it can really worsen it. Researchers found a link between that and immune cells that can drive inflammation associated with obesity and chronic disease. So it's a pretty big study. Now, if you think about that, that's just getting those light hours of sleep, and then all of a sudden you've got something wrong with you.
You
by
wake
the
up
time
and
you're
you're
50.
puffy.
Yeah, exactly. There's a whole lot of puff going on.
Right now, I feel very puffy.
Yeah, you get some sleep tonight, that puff will wear down.
Yeah. I think the big story of the day is a rare 7-planet alignment is going to take place this week. 7 planets are aligning in the sky, creating a brief chance to see a planetary parade.
Ooh.
That sounds like a My Chemical Romance song.
Yeah.
5 planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, are visible to the naked eye, while Uranus and Neptune require a telescope to see. The planets will only be visible for a few minutes after sunset, with Saturn and Mercury setting pretty quickly. The best day to see the alignment worldwide will be just in 2 days on Friday.
Wow, and that's a clear
pretty
day.
cool.
We got to actually have a clear day. I'm
Check
like,
out the planet parade.
that's
y'all.
awesome.
But have you seen the planet parade on weed?
Oh,
Bros.
whoa.
I'm sure somebody's gonna do that.
Somebody, everybody.
Yeah, I got a telescope that I've never even used. Maybe I'll play with
You could
it.
see Uranus
with
if
it.
you have the telescope.
Play with it. Look at Uranus on
Look at
Wii.
Uranus. Whoa.
All right, later on this morning, we got another pair of tickets to go see the Blazers take on the Pistons. That's going to be on, the game's going to be on the 9th at the Moda Center. We'll send you there at 7:30. Hang on. 105.9 The Brew, Portland's Rock Station. Tanner, Drew, and Laura. Drew's got sports coming up here next. What do you have?
Blazers back in the saddle tonight against the Wizards. We'll tell you what to expect.
That's coming up in just a few minutes. But first, a brand new song from Billy Idol right now. He's got a new one out, and we're debuting it right here. There's a brand new one from Billy Idol. It's called Still Dancing. Not bad, man. After all these years, he's still got it, in my opinion.
Got it.
Yeah, he definitely has something left in the tank.
What do you think, though, of the song, the new Billy Idol song? Send us a talk back through the iHeartRadio app. If you don't have it for your cell phone, download it. It's free.
1, 2, 3.
And now, Brew Sports. Here's Drew.
Well, it's got to be weird when you get traded from one basketball team to another in the NBA. Now, it's got to be extra weird when you're an untradeable player who's a 5-time All-NBA guy, which means you're the top at your position across the league. You would think that means job security. Well, not when the Lakers come calling and a shady deal happens over coffee, where Luka Doncic gets traded to LA, and now last night, the first meeting between them and his old team, the Dallas Mavericks. It would just be weird, and it was weird for him at first, but of course Luka is Luka, and he went for a triple-double in a 107-99 victory, but you could tell emotions were on the surface. After the game, they asked him what was going through his head during the game. He tried his hardest to deflect.
Honestly, I can't remember. It was just a lot of emotions, not much sleep. I can't even explain what. It was a different game. Like I said, sometimes I don't know what I was doing, and I'm just glad it's over, honestly.
They're looking like they're going to make a run in the playoffs, and the Lakers winning another title just makes me sick to my stomach. Finally, tonight, the Blazers. This is great news. This is a huge road trip we're on, and we got to get these wins if we're going to make the play-in for the playoffs. And the Blazers tonight take on the Washington Wizards. They've got 10 wins on the season.
Yay.
Let's keep them from getting number 11, Portland.
God.
Favored by 6.5. Rip City Radio, 6:20 a.m. if you want to listen to that game. Get on the wagon. Let's support these dudes. Rip City, there's your sports.
Thank you much. By the way, we do have tickets to go see the Blazers take on the Pistons coming up in about an hour. Make sure you're listening to win. Coming up next, so imagine sitting next to a dead body on your flight home.
Ugh.
It's exactly what happened to this couple. And I think they're traumatized, but we'll find out coming up. Full stories right after Def Leppard. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura on The Brew. I don't know what's going on with the airlines lately. You got doors falling off of planes. You got planes ending up upside down. You got the big dude in the middle using my shoulder as a pillow.
Oh, no.
It never ends, right?
And we're all booked on flights all over the place in the next few months, and it's like, why? Why?
I know.
It just makes me. It's going to be hard to keep that out of my mind when I'm at the airport.
I feel like 1 out of 3 of us has got to have at least a good story coming home.
God.
But
Right?
it'll
I
probably
don't
be
know.
you because chances are, you know.
Yeah, you're
No,
the.
Your record's pretty
the
bad in
curse
terms
is
of
broken.
getting
The
screwed at the
curse is
airport.
broken, so now it's somebody else's turn.
Yeah, I don't know if it's broken. I definitely wouldn't travel on a day Laura is.
I'm curious if anybody has canceled a flight due to the news stories that have been coming out lately. I mean, some people must be really stressed out. My mom's boyfriend years ago when I was a kid, I remember when he got on a flight, he was so stressed out that he smoked a cigarette in the lavatory and we barely were able to take off because of it.
You can't do that.
Yeah, now that would be an automatic ejection.
Yeah, I think you get tased. I think it's an automatic tasing.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you cancel a trip because of the news stories about these flights? Listen to this. Imagine you're flying home from your vacation or whatever, and you have to fly next to a dead body the whole flight.
Why would that happen?
I want to know what the scenario
Yeah.
is where I don't get to object to that. Is it just because
It might have been a full flight, but apparently this couple, Michelle Ring and Jennifer Collin, claim that they had to sit next to a dead passenger during a long-haul flight out of Melbourne. So apparently what happened is a fellow traveler went into a bathroom, the lavatories,
Yeah.
and when she came out, she just died. She just dropped where she was.
Oh my
where she was.
God.
And so what they did is they just picked the corpse up and set her in the seat right next to where she fell. So they didn't drag her anywhere. They just picked her up and set her in the seat where she fell, which just happened to be next to this couple. And so they were forced to sit next to this couple, next to this corpse for the rest of the flight. There's even a
my
photo
God.
of it, and you can see the guy just like sitting here like, are you kidding me?
Oh.
Now they claim the airline didn't help them out, didn't offer anything, just they landed and they left.
So where this is maybe going to sound messed up, but like where was the dead guy sitting to begin with?
The dead lady. So
The dead lady.
yeah.
I feel like she should go back to her seat.
I don't think they wanted to mess with the body. Now they tried to save her, so she
okay.
collapsed.
Yeah.
And I guess flight attendants and other passengers apparently
doctors on plane.
they
the
tried
plane
to
or
help.
whatever.
They tried to save her, but they say unfortunately the lady couldn't be saved, which was pretty heartbreaking to watch.
Oh, I'm
so then they
sure.
just picked her up and set her in the seat. I mean, I mean, oh my God! It did look like there was one seat in between the
Okay,
couple.
that's good.
Lucky. But you still have a stiff body there. Now, here's the problem, though, because if someone dies on the flight, there's also someone across the hall or aisle. There's somebody in front of them, someone behind them. Everybody's got to sit by a dead body. I do think you should hook up some like frequent flyer miles.
Yeah, do I
or
get
something.
I should get like
sure.
a dead body pass.
I better
right?
get a Tito's and soda right now.
If anything, I can at least get a few extra packets of peanuts.
Yeah,
hook it up.
You're hooking up drinks if we're sitting next to bodies.
Here's sorry, I think I said Michelle. I think it's Mitchell.
Okay.
Mitchell Ring.
So it's a guy or a girl?
It's a couple. So the guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
this-
Mitchell's alive.
Mitchell Ring and Jennifer Collin are the couple, and the woman I don't know her name.
R.I.P.
Yeah, and I think it's best, if
Yeah.
maybe her name doesn't get released. But here's Mitchell on sitting next to the corpse.
And they tried to wheel her up towards business class, but she was quite a large lady, and they couldn't get her through the aisle. Her height was at armchair height. So they looked a bit frustrated, and then they just looked at me and saw seats were available beside me. My wife was on the other side. We were in a row of 4 by ourselves, and they just said to me, "Can you move over, please?" And I just said yes, no problem. And then they placed the lady in the chair that I was in.
We're also really mindful this is incredibly distressing for this woman's family as well. But I'm just thinking about you're then placed, or this corpse is then placed next to you for how long on the flight?
For the next, it was 4 hours, 3.5 to 4 hours left of the flight.
Oh my God, man!
In the first 4 hours, and Beefwater could probably tell us this later because he's been around, morgues and stuff.
Yeah.
How long until it starts to have things happen to the body?
Like when does rigor mortis set in and all that?
or like a stench
Like
or
smells. I can't.
when is it? It can't be smelling that quickly.
I
Let's
can't
find out.
imagine
4 hours
that
is
it
enough.
would be that bad.
I'll call beef. and
I
find
mean,
out.
it's creepy knowing that the person sitting next to you is dead, but I don't think it would like start smelling or.
like I don't know if I can.
Yeah, but like I'd start thinking, what did she die from? Is it contagious? You just set this corpse next to me. Can you move me somewhere else?
Yeah,
Like, can I go to her seat?
Because I can't enjoy the in-flight entertainment with this body over here.
And now, Sister Act 2. Like, what?
Good morning.
Hey,
Good
buddy.
morning.
Good morning.
I know. So we know that you grew up, in a funeral home, and you grew up around the dead. Your dad used to take you to pick up bodies.
Yeah.
Legally, but
Correct.
you did it.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't like his dad was a killer or anything. How long? So this couple was sitting next to this body for about 4 hours on a plane. How long until it starts to stink? How long till it doesn't the body poop itself or like
go
evacuate its
stiff?
bowels once they die?
Well, that definitely could be a possibility. But I would think in 4 hours, probably going to be fine. It's not overly warm on the airplane. Yeah, I think you're probably okay. So it's mostly, I don't know, just if you're not, it would be remarkably uncomfortable if that wasn't something that you were used to. You know what I mean? Like that's an event for somebody that's not used to that scenario.
You could have done it.
So-
You would have talked to the body probably.
Oh, listen, dude, I it doesn't bother me a bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me a bit. But I do feel for those people because that is wild to have. Because I saw that same photo you were talking about.
Yeah.
where
Come
there's
look at the
like
photo, you guys.
Like there was a
So the body's
there's a
kind of
space between.
the body's kind of blurred out, but you can't tell she's a large gal, and you can see the guy just dumbfounded. He's sitting next to a corpse.
Like he's like trying to read the newspaper or whatever. Like he's just like I'm Calgonning my way out of here.
Yeah, this is my life. But like you couldn't. If she was from business class, you couldn't have put them in business class. Maybe there's only one seat in business class.
Well, I at least get somebody out of here. The one closest to him, send them to business class. She had a seat, and I'll sit in her seat. She was alive when she was there.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
That's
but I
like
mean,
a way
there's-
better spot than here.
Yeah, but I mean, there's two of them though. So one of the two people is going to get stuck.
the
still
airline
sitting next to them.
absolutely should at least reach out to them and say, "Would you like some free vouchers for something
Yeah.
for
They
another
need a
flight?"
flight,
I
another
mean,
flight.
Come on.
But I
A
also
flight is nothing.
But also, what are they gonna do? You know what I mean? It's like they have to take this body somewhere.
Yeah,
Can't you put it in cargo?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
At that
No,
point,
like,
There's a little
no.
chute in the back. Have you seen Air Force One? There's a chute in the back that goes down to the cargo.
yeah.
hold.
I mean,
like,
honestly, can't you? Like, what's wrong with putting it in cargo? Why don't on these planes they have a
I
body?
don't think you can just like open up a secret compartment
What
and
if-
drop
wh- wh-
her down.
okay,
into
well,
What
how
if the
about
plane
this?
isn't full and there's some storage up in the luggage compartment?
Okay,
okay.
Is that bad?
You
You
saw
guys-
that woman.
Oh, she was a big gal. Yeah. May she rest in peace.
Beef
Yeah,
has an
I mean-
idea.
Yes, beef.
I was just gonna say, like, just trying to maneuver that around, not easy. So
Right, it's a lot of
depending on
dead
the
weight.
staff that's on that plane, dude, it is not easy in tight quarters like that. So I understand why they did what they did. It just seems like they would have tried to clear out an entire row of seats, shuffle everybody down and around somewhere, and then just kind of
That's what I would
separate
think. Yeah.
that as much as they
It's
could.
they didn't. It's like they didn't think about the other passengers. And I get too. Like you want to respect the body too. You don't want to be mishandling it and knocking it into things.
And she is a big gal,
Right.
I mean,
So I get-
that's
I get that.
There's that part of it too, because
Oh man.
you're gonna my body. You'd probably be able to drag it around pretty good. But
I hope
not that thing.
I hope my blooded ass dies at home.
oh yeah.
The last thing I
Let
need is
me
somebody
be.
dragging me around somewhere.
I don't want to hear a bunch of bing, bing as I'm dying on the
As I-
ground.
the last thing I hear.
Scenario would be so traumatizing
Yeah.
for everyone involved.
Is it too much to say you could use one of the? There are many restrooms. Don't they have like a strap in there?
Just lock the
stuff
body
her
in the
body in her
lavatory.
bathroom?
Yeah, but it probably needs to be seat belted in. They don't want it bouncing around. I could just yeah.
Hearing the dunking. Oh, no.
I could see
Yeah,
it.
it's none of that's good. There is. See, I think it goes back to Laura's point. There are no good options.
Yeah.
Right.
So you kind of have to put the body there.
One good option is I think Beefwater needs to seek counseling with all the bodies he was around.
Yeah, the fact that it's just a no-brainer.
No
that he'd
big
sit
deal for
there.
me.
I'm fine. No, you're dead
Yeah,
inside.
Better than being dead on the outside.
That is true.
All right, buddy. I know you're tired too because you went to Deftones with us last night. So get to work for God's sake. All right.
I'm almost there. I'll see you in a few.
All right. Bye. All right. We got some Blazers tickets coming up in about an hour. Hang on. Portland's Rock Station, 105.9 The Brew. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. So in the last segment, we were talking about this couple that I guess they were kind of forced to sit next to a dead body on an airplane out of Melbourne, and they had to sit next to this corpse for like 4 hours. Mm-hmm. The woman died walking out of the bathroom, and I guess she was a large lady and just had to pick her up and set her in the seat that she fell next to.
Yeah, big lady.
So we got a couple of talkbacks through the iHeartRadio app, which, of course, you can send us one anytime. Just download it for your cell phone today.
Hey, Brew, good morning. Quick story for you. I used to be a security guard at Portland State University, and during my rounds, part of my rounds, I would have to go into the science wing, and they had a morgue where they were studying brains and bodies and everything. And I remember seeing several times like coffins, only they weren't coffins, they were just metal, and more times than not there was brain matter that was leaking through the creases of the metal onto the floor, just creating puddles. Pretty gross.
Oh my god,
That's nasty.
dude. If I were the security guard, I just wouldn't be patrolling that part of the building.
Yeah, it's all clear.
I just
all clear.
would never go down there, man. No way.
Hey, Brew Crew, Fat Thor here. Heard you guys talking about dead bodies on airplanes. You know, when I worked at the airport, this was pretty common. They just don't like to put it out there in the news a lot. And sometimes the airlines will do some kind of compensation if they have to do that. But standard procedure is to get the body in a seat and try not to let everyone know. But clearly the person taking photos like this, way out of line, dude. Have some respect. She just got Gilbert graped.
I don't get that reference. What is
It's
it?
a great movie. What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Johnny Depp.
I know, but what's the?
Well, she was a massively fat woman who died from fat.
Okay, now I get it.
Cause of death? Fat.
Getting Gilbert graped. Got it.
Yeah, it's a good watch. Check it out.
All right, coming up in a few minutes, we're gonna give you some tickets to go see the Blazers take on the Pistons. Mm-hmm. How was the game? I didn't watch. Did they have a game last night?
No, they played tonight.
Okay, they played tonight, but I know they had
the
one.
Wizards.
They had one Monday.
Yeah. What is it? Wednesday? Yeah, they had one Monday, and they won.
Yeah,
beat
Okay,
the
good.
Jazz.
Well, we'll have some tickets coming up here in a little bit. I know Laura's gonna be at this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be weird because like you're from Detroit, so you're gonna wear like a Detroit hat, but then Blazer gear everywhere else.
Yeah, correct.
It's just confusing.
Yeah,
I mean, you do what you
Drew
gotta do.
Drew doesn't like it.
Do you have a Pistons hat?
I don't have a piston. I have a Pistons.
You're not gonna buy a hat.
But she's got like she's got like a Tigers hat.
I
don't
have it.
you?
Yeah, but see, the thing is,
Now
if I wear
you're-
my Tigers hat, it'll clash because the Tigers hat is blue and orange, and if I'm wearing red and black, but I do have a Pistons shirt.
Stick to the Zerg here. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't even like the Pistons.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but it's the home team.
Yeah, I know. You got your Lions. I don't see you in a Red Wings shirt.
That's true. I do have one, but I just never wear it.
They just got to be in that Stanley Cup final, baby.
Yeah, then she'll hop right on that baby.
Yeah.
Stop.
No problem at all. All right, coming up in a few minutes, we got to recap the Deftones concert for last night. We do have some photos and videos online if you missed it. You can follow us on the gram at 1059 The Brew or on TikTok at 1059 The Brew or Tanner, Drew, and Laura. Happy Wednesday. 98197 is our McLaughlin Chevrolet text line. Hit us up anytime. We got texts that come right to the studio. Someone made a good point. We were talking about that body, or the person who died on the airplane, and then the people had to sit next to the body for like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Someone made a good point. You can't at least put a sheet over the body.
Oh my God, no.
But where are you going to find a sheet? Do they have a sheet?
They don't have like little space blankets or something on airplanes?
Well, the blanket, a space blanket.
Those little silver blankets or whatever.
No,
There's got to be something you can cover
stop.
up the body with. There's
Why cover up the body though? I mean,
because I don't want to see a dead person sitting in my aisle.
It's mind over matter, because if you just like tell yourself that they're sleeping.
No,
Dude,
I think
free drinks, right?
You need to take that 1.5-foot blanket and lay it over her head.
No, that would make things so
It'll
much
come-
worse.
and
How would it worse? I don't want to see, because like a lot of times when somebody dies, their eyes are open and the face looks, and it's a weird. It's just weird, and I don't want that image in my head.
Okay, someone.
So if you cover the face, at least the face.
Body,
you can close the lids.
What? That would be so awkward. Just like
it's more awkward than just looking at the dead body face right in the face for 4 hours.
Well, I think they pull the lids, don't they? I mean, I don't think
You
they just
would
have you
think
stare.
Well, in the movies they do that little thing.
Well, yeah, I figured that's what I would try to do.
I don't think it actually works.
You just
No.
do a
Close the
weekend at Bernie's, put on some sunglasses.
cover
and
it. The police cover him with a sheet. Why can't you cover the body on the plane with a
because
sheet?
that draws more attention to it.
Well, I mean,
It's obvious. She died in the aisle, and she's 300 pounds.
If what Fat Thor
there's a lot
said
of
is
attention.
correct, though, when he worked at the airport, that they're trying to keep it low key.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
that's
guess.
it.
I don't know.
But I mean,
I'm thinking about the two people in the aisle that had to sit next to the body. Like I just don't want that
cocktails.
image in my head.
Either way,
cocktails, maybe they get, I don't know, like, how do you, and then when you have to stay in there and wait for them to get her out, like, do you crawl
just
over a
climb
seat?
over it.
I mean, I think I crawl over a seat. I'm not going to sit here and wait for.
From the looks of it, it might have been one of those planes where they had another exit on their side.
a little.
Like they could have been in the middle.
Maybe they were in the middle.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It was a big plane. I'm not
there's
sure.
a way
because
out.
the shot I saw was just a quick little roll shot. But
Those big planes do have that whole center area you can get out of. Well, that's a lot better. I'm just thinking you're up against the wall.
I don't know. It's pretty gnarly. I would just at least think you're bringing me free drinks to this row for the remainder of the flight.
I mean, that
That's
goes
insane.
without saying. But
Go check out the story, and there's a photo of it online at 1059thebrew.com. But damn, I don't know that I could do that.
Not great.
Let's do this real quick.
And now, Tanner, Drew, and Laura's Dumbass of the Day.
You're a dumbass.
You're a dumbass.
You're grade A, number one, bona fide.
First class.
You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. And you'll be one all your dumbass life.
I just like the headline here. 2 guys found drunk and asleep at a gas pump with drugs, paraphernalia, and illegal firearms.
Oh my God. Before they went to bed, they were partying.
Dude, how do you fall asleep at a gas pump?
I don't know.
They're probably on pills.
Asleep and drunk at a gas pump with drugs, paraphernalia, and guns. It's no way to go through life, apparently. I say apparently like that's not an obvious thing.
Yeah.
But that didn't
Well,
stop
for them, it was not, apparently.
Gavin Saxton and his brother Joseph. Gavin and Joseph Saxton.
Bros.
They arrested when police found them in the exact same situation in Glendale, Pennsylvania. Gavin had a firearm permit, but it had been revoked.
Whoops.
So he still wasn't supposed to have it. And Joseph didn't have a permit at all. And these guys had a pretty long list of charges against them, including public drunkenness. So I don't know if they, like you said, they're probably partying pretty hard, and while they're filling the tank up, they just like
Were they
passed
in
out.
the car or were they outside?
I think they were in the car. That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
Well, when you say drug paraphernalia, too, you got to think of how many, you see those videos online or just downtown all the time where people are completely nodded out.
Yeah.
You know, like you could just be half, you might be awake, but they think you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, but also, drug paraphernalia could be like a 20-sack of pot.
Yeah, it could be. And it could
Just
be
label
anything
it.
from a needle to smoking fentanyl to pot.
But it's probably something pretty hard. If they both passed out at the gas station.
And one didn't
right
go,
in the middle
hey, bro,
of a fill-up.
we should go. Like,
Right.
before you go to bed, too.
Mom must be so proud.
Yeah. You know, apple didn't fall far from the tree. I'm sure mom's sleeping in her own yard.
Yeah. Man, winners. These guys.
Your type of guys, Laura.
Yeah, they have promise. They just gotta.
I'm gonna start writing him letters in prison, and then maybe we could get some conjugal visits going.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I learned so much about Laura over the last couple of days. Like
What?
Like you're a weirdo. You like weird things.
What happened?
I found out
this
yesterday.
Isn't actually my type of guy.
No, that has nothing to do with the guys. I found out yesterday. Laura really likes stale food.
I like yes.
Like
yeah,
she
I
comes
like
in
some
here.
Stale food.
She comes in here yesterday, and I would love to talk to somebody else. I like burnt food. Like if I cook a frozen pizza, I always burn it a little bit on purpose. But Laura likes things like if they've been left out in the air for a while. She comes in here yesterday, and she was like, "Do you have those Ritz crackers still?" Because I had like a sleeve of Ritz for emergency situations when I get hungry.
Yeah.
And I remembered last time I opened them, I kind of left them out. I felt like overnight.
They got air to them.
He didn't give them to somebody the other day. Somebody else came in here and asked you for them, and they're like, they're kind of stale.
Yeah.
I knew that they were a little stale already.
And she comes in and she goes, You still got those Ritz crackers? Like a fiend. Yeah. You got those Ritz, man? I'm itching.
Yeah,
and I go, sure.
Your protein bar wasn't in your bag.
And she just killed the rest of the sleeve. And I'm like, damn, you like
they were
stale
delicious.
chips and stale crackers?
They weren't that stale. But I do, honestly, if it's around, I'll eat it.
That's
like,
weird.
I don't even
Do
care.
you eat cold French fries?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, I mean, if they're still in their first serving, I'll eat them cold. But if I won't go back to them.
Right. Like how an hour later?
No.
That's
I
too
mean,
long.
but if my fries have gone cold in transit and all that, I'm still eating them.
That's one
That's
thing.
different. You're like an hour later, I'm like, I'll eat them the next day.
Oh, now that's insane.
Yeah.
The potato's all hard. There's no more plus side to the whole thing.
What is it about stale food that you like? I mean, that is odd. Is that not? Am I the only one that thinks that's odd?
I'm not into flimsy chips, and I'm not into because when something is stale, it lacks the crunch, the bite.
Yeah.
You're right.
I love the bite.
That's the crunch, right?
That's not my preferred method. Like, I would prefer to have fresh, crispy food.
So you're a
but
scavenger.
Kind of.
You're like the crows that you feed.
Yeah.
No wonder you
Yeah,
relate.
like you're like, whenever you talk about Little Caesar's pizza and how after like an hour you won't touch it, I'm like, I'll eat that thing for days.
Yeah, it's got a window, and after that, I'm done.
Mm-hmm. You don't do leftover pizza, right?
It depends on where it's from.
Well, especially
Not
Little
Caesars.
Caesars, but I
Not Little Caesars. I'll eat pizza leftover if it's pan crust. That's the only style I'll eat.
see.
It
no.
heats well.
Yeah, it does eat well, especially
Got
if you just
those
put it in the oven
oils in the crust.
or the air fryer. Air fryer's great.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
magic.
No, I'll nosh on it no matter what.
Jeez, that's weird. I know. I thought that was weird, but maybe I'm weird. But I think Laura's a freak for eating stale food and stale chips and
She'll be the last alive in the apocalypse.
Yeah.
though, because-
cockroaches and Laura.
Yeah, just in a shadow.
I'm gonna-
chewing on
I'll
a
eat
3-year-old bagel.
I'll eat stuff that even cockroaches. Well, I'm like, you gonna eat that? They're like, nah. fam.
It'll soften up eventually.
Who else is like that? Who else likes stale food? I like burnt food. Again, I love to burn
like
my
a
hot
little-
dogs while camping. I love to burn my frozen pizzas.
To me, I think that's a sear. Like I do like it to have those
Yeah.
black lines.
98197 is our McLaughlin Chevrolet text line. Hang on. Portland's Rock Station, 105.9 The Brew. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. All right, we're going to recap the Deftones concert in just a few minutes. If you saw the show, I'd love to know what you thought of it. Send us a talk back through the iHeartRadio app. Before that, Drew's got sports. What do you have?
Blazers at it on the road tonight on the East Coast. We'll tell you what we got.
That's coming up right after AC/DC at 7:23 on The Brew. All right, Laura, you might not be the only weirdo who likes stale chips and stale pretzels and crackers.
Great.
I just found this out yesterday that Laura likes stale things. It's as odd. But this person says they prefer cold pizza to hot pizza or cold mac and cheese if it's from the box.
The first one, not that weird. The second one, I like mine coagulated. It's just a lot.
2396 says pizza and potato chips are good, even old to me. So
potato chips. Yeah. Maybe that's something you acquire when you're young too. You remember how you'd put up with old crackers in the pantry at your mom's house because it was all you had.
It's almost like a completely different meal because it's got a different texture.
They're a
little chewy.
Yeah, this person says sometimes they get pizza and eat it the next day just to have it old. So they'll order it and then they'll put it immediately in the fridge and then eat it the next day.
I do love day-old pizza.
But how impossible is it not to grab a hot slice when you smell it?
This one says Cheetos and Lay's are bomb a little stale. So I guess you're not the only
one.
Not alone.
All right.
Stale crew.
We got tickets to go see the Blazers here in a second. In the meantime...
1, 2, 3. And now, Brew Sports. Here's Drew.
Well, it was Lakers Mavericks for the first time since Luka Doncic was traded for the Brow and headed out to Los Angeles, and that Hollywood ride is continuing. And really, everyone's talking about Luka, but LeBron keeps coming through huge in the fourth quarter. He's 40. And I know that at some point, the conversation has to be had. If he keeps doing this till he's like 42, 43, while Jordan was, in my mind, the greatest, the longevity has to be brought into the conversation at some point. The guy spends over $1 million on his body every year so he can make $35 million playing basketball. But in the end, 107-99, but it was Luka's feelings that were talked about afterwards, playing against his old team, where he felt they stabbed him in his back and traded him away. He tried to deflect.
Honestly, I can't remember. It was just a lot of emotions, not much sleep. I can't even explain it was a different game. Like I said, sometimes I don't know what I was doing, and I'm just glad it's over, honestly.
Now, one thing that's not over is a monster road trip for the Blazers, as they've got 7 straight away from home. They won the first one Monday night, going for another this evening against the Washington Wizards. Now, the Wizards are not very good. They're in a situation where they're kind of looking at a draft pick. Will they throw this one against Portland tonight? Well, Vegas likes Portland by 6.5, so it might be tough. The game could be just inside of that. 4 o'clock, you get the early one, you can get to bed. Go Blazers, Rip City. Check it out. Rip City Radio, 620 a.m. There's your sports.
We do have some tickets to go see the Blazers take on the Pistons coming up here next. Also, we're going to recap the Deftones concert from last night. What did you think if you went? Send us a talkback message. Just download the iHeartRadio app today. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura on The Brew. Happy Wednesday. Running on batteries this morning, man, after the Deftones concert last night. That was a lot of fun. First time Deftones had an arena tour, and this was the first show of the tour last night at the Moda. And pretty great concert, Beef. Yeah, I mean, that was an incredible stage setup. They had a great set.
I had a great time. It was much better once Deftones took the stage.
You're not a Mars Volta fan?
Not a Mars Volta fan. I wasn't going in, and it was just reconfirmed in my time there that it is just not for me. So no offense to the Mars Volta fans that are out there. I just don't happen to be one.
Yeah, I showed up, and Beef was already sitting in a seat, and he just had I was like, what's going on? He's like, this band.
Dude.
They're just dragging on and on.
They're 3 songs in, and I felt like I was there for 13 years.
They did have long songs. What'd you say at one point? Like, no song needs to be 28 minutes long.
Yeah, like, there's no reason for it. There's no reason for any song to be 27 minutes long. Let's move it through.
Right.
Well, at least they didn't upstage the main event.
No,
That's
it was
true.
great.
It was wonderful. It was a good show.
It was a great show, sold out, and I was super embarrassed because I was in a Target outfit.
Yeah, how did that go? I've been dying to know.
It was embarrassing as hell, and like as soon as I got there, things like every 15 minutes kept happening to just embarrass me even more.
Just kept reconfirming you're in the outfit.
Yeah,
because like
I'd forget.
I had the sweet tickets, so Tanner had to wait for me to get there, and when I got there, I didn't know where to find him, but I didn't realize that like many of the Moda Center employees are also wearing red jackets.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh no.
So where's Waldo out there?
Yeah.
Right. And so this is just like the same thing happened to me. Remember when you and I went to Vegas and I ended up wearing the same outfit as the staff at this club we went to?
Yeah, I do.
I showed up to this nightclub and I was wearing a black button-up shirt and a red tie.
Mm-hmm.
So was the entire staff of this place.
That was their uniform.
People were handing me empty bottles. So I'm sitting there at the top of the stairs of the Moda Center waiting for Laura because she's taking forever. And it's like 2 girls walk up the stairs and they're pretty cute. They're probably in their late 20s, maybe early 30s, but they're pretty, I would say, hot.
You'd love to hang out.
And I don't say anything. I'm just looking at my phone and the girls look up at me and she goes, "Do you work here?" And I politely, I couldn't believe it. I politely said, "No, I don't work here. The door's right there. Those are the people." And she goes, "Well, you're wearing a red shirt." All snotty, and then just walked away from me like I'm the one who messed up.
You were looking.
And you had a name tag.
Well, that was covered up with my coat.
Oh,
but I politely said, "No, I don't work here. The people were right there, 15 feet to my right." "Well, you're wearing a red shirt."
Well, you look rather put together. You had your hair combed.
Yeah.
You were out freshly shaved. I mean, you
Well,
were,
it's against Target.
you were
It's
looking
against
better than any Target employee I've seen.
It's
in the
against
last
Target
5
policy
years.
to wear a hat.
I was
So I
wondering
had
if you were going to show up with a hat, and I was like, oh, damn.
That's all in.
The hair is out.
Dedicated.
So then that was the first embarrassing moment, and then Laura took forever, and so I was just waiting in front of the suite for like 15 minutes, like a weirdo. So they probably thought, like, I was like, are these people going to call the police?
Like, this guy doesn't have a ticket. 5 more minutes, and we're dragging him out of here.
But that didn't happen. She showed up. We walk inside, and then at one point I go to the bar to get a drink.
Oh man, this was so funny.
I go to the bar to get a drink, and the bartender goes, "So what'd you lose a bet or something?" Without
Yes, I did.
Without knowing anything, I
As a
said,
matter
"Yeah,
of fact."
pretty much I kind of did."
Yeah.
And so I kept forgetting that I was in the stupid Target outfit because if you don't know, the first time I saw the Deftones was when I was working at Target by the Clackamas Town Center.
In the 90s.
In the 90s or something like that. I got off of work with my buddy Ralph. We drove down to La Luna, which was a venue back in the day, and we snuck into the Deftones concert, and we were in our Target outfits in the mosh pit. So Laura's like, "Well, if you come, you got to do that."
Yeah, and I also appreciate the fine folks at the Moda Center lending me a Sharpie marker because when we showed up, Tanner had a name badge on, but it was empty. Like, it didn't say anything. He's like, "I couldn't find my label maker." So
do I sound like that? I couldn't find
You do.
my
That's,
label
that's
maker.
exactly what you sound like. So we went to the bartender. I was like, "Hey, man, you got a Sharpie?" And he's like, "Yeah, we can find you a Sharpie."
She hounded these people, these poor bartenders, for like 10 minutes
them.
for
I
a
just
Sharpie.
nicely
I told
asked.
them, I go, "Guys, this is not important. It's
it
not
was very
important. Don't worry about it."
important.
The guys had to go like track another guy down and go to his office to get this Sharpie.
They loved it.
Well, they're not going to leave another
loved it,
employee
she
with a
said.
blank tag.
Yeah.
Dude was waiting all night for that mission.
Yeah.
Finally got it.
But I had a great time, and I'm glad I went, even if I was embarrassed in my stupid outfit.
If you want to see his outfit, by the way, we've got some videos up on the Instagram at 1059 The Brew.
All right.
Nice.
You can rate his Target outfit.
Never again. Never again.
It
was bringing back
show was
flashbacks.
worth it, though,
It was great.
for
Totally.
the
yeah.
outfit.
I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, the Deftones concert last night was like a 7 or a solid 8 for me, maybe. Solid 7 or 8.
That's pretty good.
It's low.
Is that low?
I think it was 9.5 easily.
Nice. That'll average into a pretty nice score.
Yeah.
Let's go to line 1. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. Who's this?
Adrian.
Hey, Adrian. What's happening, bud?
Hey. Oh, just getting ready for work.
Yeah. Did you go to the Deftones show last night?
I did not. I did not. I didn't get tickets for it.
Well, you could have dressed as a Target employee, and maybe I would have let you into the suite.
Well, if you don't get tickets to that, we'll get you tickets to go see the Blazers. How about that, brother?
Same building.
Get
it!
Blazers will be taking on the Pistons on March 9th. You will be there at that game, all right, bro?
Bill Walton night, too. There'll be all kinds of fun stuff in tribute of the man himself.
Nice.
Nice. Thank you, guys.
All right, hang on the phone. What'd you think of the show, Beefwater?
I thought the show was good.
Oh, you already told us that. Yeah,
I thought the show was good. It was better than I anticipated. Not that I thought it was going to be bad, but I'm always concerned about sound.
Yeah.
And
Laura's kind of drunk.
I was tipsy.
Laura
we had to demand that Casey take her home because she was going to like drunk take the Max home.
So do you pre-funk or you get that buzzed in a suite?
I did have a beer before because I was taking the
You're
Max.
a lightweight.
Like,
I
why
just didn't
not?
know how light.
Yeah, pretty light. Yeah, pretty light. But then Tanner also he had his first White Claw last night.
I had a sip of hers and I was like, oh my God, that's too good.
Yeah.
It is good.
That's
isn't it?
dangerously
See,
good.
it's really delicious, and it's better for you than all that stuff in a beer. No offense to the beautiful beer companies around here.
Yeah, well, they're too good because I'm gonna be hammered this weekend. I'm
gonna
getting
get a big package of
them. Was the mango that I had?
Ain't no laws. Yeah, mango. It's the best flavor.
It's good.
Tanner's going to be clam only moving forward. Clams only.
It's claw.
He's making the budget white clams.
White clam.
Go check out our Instagram at 1059 The Brew or at Tanner, Drew, and Laura, and check out the footage from last night. We got some talkbacks to the iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, Brew Crew. Yeah, so I work at Moto Center. I did not, unfortunately, work the Deftones concert because I don't work there during the weekdays because my day job, I never know when I'm going to be off. So I only work there on the weekends, and I hate my new uniform. We used to be green in my department. It was maroon, and then it went to green. Everybody was complaining about the green because it stained really easily. So then they gave us red, just like the guest services people. So, yeah.
So that's how I blended in yesterday at the show.
I thought you were a custodian.
Yeah. Ugh, it's so embarrassing. Like, nothing worse than being handed empties. You know? Can you take this for me, kid?
Yeah, you're like, I'm not recycling these.
Hey, bro, give me some more popcorn.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to check more of your talkback messages. So if you've got something to say to the show, download the iHeartRadio app.
Get in on the action. Call Tanner, Drew, and Laura anytime at 866-445-1059.
big story.
It's time for the big story where we go around the room sharing what we think the biggest stories of the day are. I guess I could go first. Egg prices are obviously through the roof. Some people are paying $10 for a carton.
Just a dozen eggs for 10 bones. What a time.
Insane. McDonald's is promising that it will not be adding an egg surcharge as egg prices soar. Other chains like the Waffle House and Denny's have started charging extra for dishes with eggs as bird flu has the costs up. But McDonald's said this week that it's not going to be doing that, all right? They're going to leave the prices where they're at.
That's nice.
Because they're already high enough.
I was going to say, they've raised prices recently anyway, so maybe that's in their best interest to leave it alone.
And look at the blowback at Denny's, because we already have seen the prices for breakfast, which is to make is by far the cheapest when it comes to supply. And so they've been having a huge profit margin forever, and now eggs aren't that margin, but you don't get to just keep bumping the money up so that you keep a fat profit margin, and Denny's is paying the price.
The Grand Slam is $47.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's not that much, but
it feels
might
like
as
it.
well be.
You might as well. You just keep that in mind that McDonald's is not going to be doing that. So if you get that egg craving.
The big story to me, guys, is if you want to make some money, why work? Just go to theme parks. I know you enjoy a good theme park, Tanner. Well, all you got to do is be like this grandmother who was awarded $7.5 million because she got injured on the Harry Potter ride.
Oh.
You're right enough. Something's bound to happen.
I'm going to Disneyland next month, and I hope I get hurt.
Yeah.
In September of 2022, 74-year-old Pamela Morrison suffered a crushed spine as she exited the Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey ride. She slipped and fell on a moving walkway after being asked to leave the ride when her harness would not engage. Wow, so they couldn't get the belt on her, and then so she went to get off, she fell and broke, and now she gets $7.5 million. I'd say once she gets that cash, that seatbelt will never fit again.
Yeah.
Sounds like the lady that died on the plane.
Could be. Well, it's not her. Well, would go to next of kin.
It could be. I don't know. I think the big story is I'm moving into Drew's lane here. I'm going to talk some sports. Tom Brady, he's done for in the NFL. His buddy, though, Rob Gronkowski, might be returning to the NFL.
No way.
Yeah.
That would be so awesome. A little Gronky tonk one more time.
Apparently, he is or has been working out in Colorado and is contemplating retiring. I guess he's been pretty impressed by what he's seeing with Bo Nix. So people are saying he might be joining the Denver Broncos. Nothing has been confirmed yet, but he's already got a good relationship with Sean Payton, so
I do love Bo Nix.
Yeah.
So that's worth a look.
More on those stories at 1059thebrew.com. Just click on Tanner, Drew, and Laura. All right, coming up next, Drew's kid got stuck somewhere, and they almost had to call 911 to get her out. We want to know, what did your kid get stuck in? Or how did they get stuck? Your call is after the Imagine Dragons band on the Brew. All right, how did your kid get stuck? Maybe you took him to the park and they got stuck on those little swings.
It can get sketchy. The little baby ones, once
little
their
baby
legs are too big.
Yeah, my friend Chet got stuck. stuck
grown
in one
man.
of those. Yeah, we were like, I guess we were in grade school still, but probably
Still too much thigh for that thing.
way too much thigh. 3rd, 4th grade, something like that. And Chet had some thick thighs, and he got stuck. And his dad had to come out.
Oh, that's awkward.
And his dad, we lived a couple blocks away from the park, and his dad had to drive his truck out, and he was super pissed.
Oh, yeah.
To squeeze chubby Chet out of that seat.
Getting some Crisco on those bad boys. Those legs will start to turn purple.
But how did your kid get stuck? Was it a situation where you had to call the fire department? It's really embarrassing. I actually saw a video of a teenage girl who got stuck in the exact same swing.
Yeah.
And had to call the fire department.
Sometimes I think about it. I'm like, I wonder if I could still fit in there. And then I just remember all those videos, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, at least
not worth it.
Have a buddy with you when you try, because you don't want to get
because I'm pulling my phone out.
Yeah, exactly.
I went to school with a kid that got his head stuck in a doggy door, and it made it on an episode of Rescue 911.
Oh my God.
That's amazing. That's
So
amazing.
it must have been a small doggy door, because normally those are pretty big, right?
But he got his head stuck in the doggy door. Had to get the fire department had to come out and
How
get his
embarrassing.
head out. But I just remember it making an episode of Rescue 911.
Yeah.
We used to watch it every Sunday night.
That was the show.
Wasn't
Shatner?
William Shatner? Yeah, he was the host. All right, Drew. So your little girl got stuck, and you felt like you almost had to call 911. What happened?
We were getting close to fire department mode. I almost got on Rescue 911. Boy can hope. We were in shower mode, right? So in the evenings, I take a shower in the morning, but in the evening, the whole family kind of has to shower because you can't get the kids going in the morning to do that before everything else. So we're going through the gauntlet. We're running the hot water out. We've done what we're doing. And Millie is the last shower, and she takes with Amy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so she's butt naked, the baby is, and she's just been dried off, and she's about to hit a diaper. And Amy runs downstairs to grab something. I'm in the room with her. I turn around, and she just she takes 2 steps into the bathroom, closes the door, and as I'm coming over to open the door, I hear a drawer open.
Oh.
And so right inside that door, the door opens in, there is a row of drawers.
Uh-huh.
And if you pull a drawer all the way out, it's a castle lock. There's just no way in. And you can't, it only opens a smidge, so you can't get to the line in the door where you could unscrew it. And even if you take off the handle, you can't get to her.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I can see her through a crack. She's butt naked in the room. She's pulling stuff off the counter. She's backed away from the door. We're trying to manipulate her to open the door. Come on, let's push the drawer. You're 15 months old. You understand so much, but go over there and close that drawer so I don't have to call the fire department. It's not on your radar. And so what do? We're trying to get fingers in there, but it's very frightening even to put your fingers in there because one push and you're fingerless.
Yeah.
And so we try everything. We're trying to take clothes hangers. They're breaking. They're bending because you can't get it from that angle.
Mm-hmm.
I go downstairs.
How much time has passed at this point?
4 minutes, 5 minutes, 4 minutes. And so Amy's phone and her watch are in the bathroom. So luckily I'm there. This would be worse. I go down, I grab tools. I got a wrench. I've got a long screwdriver, hoping that I can hit a rivet. And I get up there, and I'm trying to whittle through the door. I'm putting little dents in the door frame. And then all of a sudden, when we're about to go to panic mode and just be like, the fire department's a block away. You might have to come here. I don't know how to get to my kid.
What are they going to do? Because they don't really worry about.
They're going to break my door.
Yeah, they don't really worry about stuff.
Can't you take the door off of the hinge?
You can't because the door doesn't.
It's on the other side.
The hinge, and
Yeah,
even
yeah,
if you
yeah.
were to take off the little bracket that holds the door, you can't get to it because the door didn't open far enough.
Right.
So you don't get an angle on it.
They'd have to kick it. They'd kick it in for sure.
Yeah, and they'd cut it.
Oh,
They'd have to
geez.
cut it.
Yeah.
Because it's blocked by the drawer. So, and I didn't have my bandsaw or whatever I'd need to get in there. And by just the miracle of it, all of a sudden, I just hear clunk, and she's closed the drawer. And we pop the door open. I pick her up. Her entire butt is black. And I'm like, what has happened? She has just ass stamped Amy's makeup trays. Like, there was, what do you guys call it? Foundation or eyeshadow, like this dark colors.
The palette, yeah.
Yeah, the palette was getting pumped by some cheeks.
That's hilarious.
But we got her out, but I paid
Got her
it.
out, yeah. But at least you got her out and didn't have to cut the door off or anything like that. But,
Yeah, and just some minor little paint nicks that can be easily fixed.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Did the situation happen to you, or did you actually have to call the fire department? 866-445-1059. You can also shoot us a text message on our McLaughlin Chevrolet text line at 98197. This text comes in to us from 3049 and says, I don't have kids, but I got a story about myself. I was 5 or 6 years old, and I had climbed into my dad's truck. The back had drain holes for when it was raining, and I decided to stick my finger into one of them.
Uh-oh.
My dad had to call the fire department to cut around it and to get my finger out.
Oh, man.
My God.
He's all, thanks. I liked that truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This says, when I was a kid, I climbed a maple tree and fell only to get my legs stuck between the branches. My mom had to call the fire department to come get me out of the tree.
You were just like dangling there. I bet that was a pretty funny visual.
Yeah.
All the blood rushed into your face.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, jeez.
Because I
Yikes.
guess it works for when you got stuck as well, because those are the traumatizing moments.
A friend of mine, he's not a friend anymore because he's kind of a bad dude.
He's a jerk.
But a long time ago, he was a real skinny guy. And a long time ago, we went to a party at our boss's house. And our boss had like a laundry chute. And so he was like, I think I can fit down the laundry chute. And then on the second floor, bro got into the laundry chute and got stuck halfway down.
Between floors?
Someone had to squeeze in, another skinny person had to squeeze in and pull his arms down because he got stuck in between the floors in the laundry chute.
Oh, man.
This guy's
Should have left him there for an hour.
I have secondhand claustrophobia just thinking about that.
Yeah, right? There's just the thought of it. I'm like, oh.
That sounds
to be in no man's land, and when your limbs are trapped against you, you're just worthless.
You just, oh my God.
3799 sent a text in and said, my son, who's 1 years old, got stuck on top of the step stool. He climbs up, then he can't get down.
Yeah, well, that's constantly I'll walk over and it's near death, like 1 foot leaned off going for some crackers.
I would do that as a kid. I would climb a tree and then I would get scared and I couldn't come down.
Yeah.
Or I would just sit up there for an hour trying to like talk myself into coming down.
It's like, this was a bad idea.
Always easier getting up there.
Let's go to line 1. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. How did your kid get stuck?
Well, it wasn't my kid. I have a quadriplegic wife, and I was giving her a shower.
Mm-hmm.
And when I walked out of the bathroom, the door locked behind me, and she'd been in there for like 20 minutes until the water started getting cold.
Oh, no.
How'd you get back in?
Yeah. I tried picking the lock with a card, and it just wasn't happening quick enough. So I went to kick the door in, and I basically put my foot through the door. And at this point, I could reach through and unlock it, and I got to her just before it got freezing.
Good man. Good. That's what I would have done too.
do.
Like, you just got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And the doors aren't that much. Like, what, $150 at Home Depot or something?
Yeah, better
You're
than
right.
her freezing out in the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
Little bit of duct tape, it was fine.
There it is.
Still looks like that to this day.
Well, it could happen again. You never know.
Yeah, if it gets too hot in there, you just pull some tape back.
You're a good man. Appreciate that. Thanks for the call, dude.
Good day, guys.
More of your calls coming up. How did your kid get stuck, or how did you get stuck? 866-445-1059.
1, 2, 3.
And now, Brew Sports. Here's Drew.
Well, we're right around the corner from the NFL draft, and oftentimes we talk about quarterbacks. Who's going number one? Who's the future quarterback? Who's the franchise guy? Well, there are certain people, including Penn State's star defensive player Abdul Carter. If you saw him play during the playoff or even when he played against the Oregon Ducks earlier this season, guy is an animal, one of the best pass rushers to come out in a long time. He made his case for it being a defensive player. He said, look at every Super Bowl champion. You usually have that one standout defensive guy who nobody can stop. And that's what happens. You got your Strahan when the Giants did it, or Ray Lewis with the Ravens. The list goes on and on and on. He says he's that guy. Now, when I saw him play, he looked frightening. Not a man you want to run into in the trenches. So maybe he will go number one. But of course, there are people saying it's going to go quarterback 1, 2, and then not another quarterback maybe for multiple rounds, which is pretty wild. Tonight, looking for a little action. The good news is you got Blazers early when they play on the East Coast. Washington Wizards not having a great season. They've only won 6 home games this year. Let's not let them into the victory book as the Blazers trying to stay hot. 25-33 on the season. If you look at some of those other teams that are right there on the bubble, they're starting to lose their games. So if the Blazers can get even half of the games on this 7-game road trip, it could be good for them. Tonight, Rip City Radio, 6:20 a.m. for the broadcast, and a 4 o'clock tip. Blazers favored by 6.5. There's your sports.
All right, coming up next, we want to know how did your kid get stuck, or maybe it was you who got stuck. Maybe you were under your house doing it in the crawl space or something, and you got stuck between a pipe or something. That would be actually a scary place to get stuck.
Yeah.
What happened to you? 866-445-1059. Your calls after Everclear on the Brew. Happy Wednesday. It was a lot of fun last night at the Deftone show. We've got footage from last night's concert, me in my stupid Target outfit that Laura demanded that I wear.
Yeah.
Follow us on the gram and TikTok to live vicariously through us, at 1059 The Brew or at Tanner, Drew, and Laura. We were talking earlier about getting stuck. Drew's kid, the little baby, apparently pulled a drawer open, locked the door, and they couldn't get in there for a while, so she was stuck for a little bit.
Yeah.
To the point where Drew and Amy thought they were going to have to call the fire department. When did your kid get stuck? Or when did you get stuck? A lot of people are calling up and saying, hey, yeah, I got stuck a few times.
Mm-hmm.
This guy says, or it could be a gal, 9820 says, I got stuck in my grandpa's old Scout when I was a kid.
The car?
I guess so. I remember honking the horn before getting let out. I was in the garage, so I guess it was a little harder to hear me.
And in an old Scout, like you know what it's like when a buddy would give you a ride in one of those? You'd have two hands on the handle, pop! A little kid's not going to be able to pop that door open.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to line 1. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. Good morning. Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, is that a pocket dial?
Maybe. They're walking at a quick pace, you can tell.
Hi, it's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. When did you get stuck?
Okay, so I've got two very similar stories, super sweet and short. One was I got stuck in a Ford El Ranchero tailgate. My hand was sitting on the edge, and my 8-year-old cousin at the time decided to close the tailgate, and my hand was pinched in there, and then he took off. He just ran. So I was stuck there for about 10 minutes just screaming while my hand's stuck in this tailgate.
Why did was he scared? Did he get scared and run off, or was he?
Yeah, he got scared, basically. He heard me scream, didn't know what to do, so he took off. And so finally my aunt came running around.
Did you lose fingers?
Nope, didn't even break a finger.
Whoa.
Did he go and get somebody, or did he just bail?
He just bailed, and then my aunt heard me yelling. I was like 15 at the time, and my aunt heard me yelling and finally come running around the corner and saw me stuck there, and unlatched tailgate.
Wow.
Oh, man.
I'd be beating somebody up at the next
I'd be chasing that kid around the
I
yard.
feel like this hand still works, bro.
No kidding. But then similar thing, my buddy had an old Jeep, and we were looking at his motor, and I had my hand in the hood, and he shut the hood, and the dang thing latched, and again, hand pinched in there, but then his hood wouldn't open. So he had to get a crowbar and bend his hood open to get my hand out.
Oh my God. I bet your hand looks like a waffle.
Dude, my fingers are 3 different sizes.
Damn.
Amazing.
Wild.
At least that one didn't run off, though. That guy didn't run off.
Yeah, he decided to help.
All right, bro. Great call, man.
Yeah, that one was good.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
See ya. Hi, it's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. How did you or your kid get stuck?
So it would actually be me getting stuck. And it happened about 20 years ago, and I met this woman, and then I said yes, and then we got married, and then 18 years later we had a kid. And yeah, I don't know where it's going to end yet, but that's
He's still stuck.
You're stuck.
He's still stuck.
I get it.
Wow.
All right, thanks, man.
But
We got some text messages coming in on our McLaughlin Chevrolet text line. This one's from 6525. It says, I got my torso stuck in a generator frame. Ended up cracking 2 ribs getting free. The opening was about 8.5 inches tall by 26 inches wide.
Whoa.
I don't even know what that is. I'm having a hard time
The
picturing
generator
that,
frame?
but yeah.
Just like the frame that holds in a generator? That's all I would think.
Sounds painful either way.
Yeah, Laura, have you ever been stuck in anything? I know you're like a contortionist in what do they call silkers or whatever they.
A silker.
You ever get in a knot
An
up there?
acrobat. I have never gotten stuck where I can't get out, I don't think. Not that I remember, anyway. I've had my brother trap me inside of things.
Oh, yeah.
But that
Getting
doesn't-
locked in something on purpose.
That doesn't count.
Right.
It's called torture.
Just a little family torture.
Right.
We got some talkback messages coming into the iHeartRadio app. You can send us one anytime. Download it for your cell phone.
Hey, Brew Crew, Fat Thor here. Heard you guys talking about being stuck in places. One time as a small kid, my grandparents took me to the Enchanted Forest, and there's a little follow Alice in Wonderland down the rabbit hole thing, and the hole kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Well, I had my grandma follow me, and she got stuck in there.
Oh, no.
And then about 16 kids had to put it in reverse so she could get out. Oh, man, how embarrassing.
That is very embarrassing.
Got more talkbacks?
Hey guys, when I was younger in rural Wisconsin, I was up cleaning the gutters off of my mom's house, and the ladder fell down, and I had to wait 3.5 hours on the roof for her to come back from work. All right, see you later.
That sucks.
Dude, I mean, at some point you're like, all right, I could hop into that bush. Like you start to, I bet there were times where he's like, 1, 2, nah, sit down, wait for her.
Yeah.
You almost jump off.
Yeah, Beef, you ever get stuck in anything?
I haven't been stuck. I've been in some very tight situations, doing electrical work, being up in attics, and you know that where I've had to get pulled out by my feet, where I couldn't back out myself.
Oh.
But when my son was little, he was famous for going up in like the McDonald's play structure or whatever, getting up to the top and then just looking at you, wouldn't come back down. And then you got to kind of like navigate it in reverse, trying to go up the slide the wrong way to try and get up there and grab a shoe and yank him down.
I feel like the next generation of parents are going to miss out on that rite of passage. Because Josie, my middle kid, she went up there, refused to come down, locked up, and then peed her pants.
Oh.
And so it was like you had to go and get a urine-soaked little human out. You had to crawl in it yourself. I mean, it's not made for a grown-up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what videos make me hyperventilate just watching? Even thinking about it, I get a little tight-chested. These cave divers, these cave dwellers, whatever they do. The guys who will go and like crawl through these tiny little caves in the earth. And sometimes they get stuck. There's these awful stories on TikTok.
Are you talking on land or underwater?
Well, sometimes they've got to go like underwater to get into the cave.
And the down to get up is wild.
I think that's absolutely insane, and those people should have their heads examined.
I feel like the anxiety that would be in you when you just know that if something happens, I can't walk out. I have to swim down and out.
Oh,
Nah.
I'm having like heart palpitations
Yeah,
just
thinking about it, dude.
But I remembered a time when I did kind of get stuck, and this is. I don't know if this really counts, but I was snowboarding, and there was a big sign that I wanted to take a picture with, and I was there with my ex-husband.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you're snowboarding, you take one foot out, and you just kind of, like, scoot around. So I was scooting over to the sign, but I didn't realize, which is dumb, I don't know why I didn't realize how deep the snow was.
Did you just sink?
And the one free leg sank down to my thigh. Like, it was, like, hip.
Right.
And like my other foot is just out there attached to the snowboard, and John is just laughing his ass off because I can't move, and I'm just like, "Get me out!"
I'm gonna let that go for a second and just have a good laugh, maybe get a video.
But I was like in panic mode because I was like, I can't move,
and you're like,
I'm gonna sink
how
here.
deep is this?
I'm gonna get stuck in the snow forever.
It's so funny to watch people when they're like just their waist deep and they're just flailing their arms around.
It's so hard to get out to. You're lucky that your board wasn't down there with it.
Right, because the more you move, the more you like squeeze down.
Yeah. Let's go to line 1. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. Did you ever get stuck, or your kid? Hello.
You know, I work at a place out in Wilsonville that is really designed for kids, and I'm not going to name any names, obviously, but there is an attraction there that is a rope course, you know, that's probably 15, 18 feet up in the air. Okay. And, you know, you get these kids that are so brave. They're so brave, and they want to get up there, and they want to do it, and then they get up there, and they just absolutely are terrified. And so a lot of the times, you know, if I'm out there and work in that particular department, I've got, you know, I'm a big guy. I'm like 6'1", 275 pounds, and I have to climb up this chintzy little ropes course that scares the absolute crap out of me. And I got to get these kids down off of there.
Yeah, he's having the fear of heights himself, trying to be cool around the kid.
That would be me, dude. I when I was a kid, I would climb trees, and then I would get too high. I'd get scared, and I would lock up, and I'd have to like slowly talk myself down, you know, or someone would have to come get me. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we were all like that growing up too. I mean, I'm an adult now, and I'm still like, you know, you see one of these kids up there, they're like, "Oh, I need help. I need help," and you get up there and you're like, "Oh my God, what have I got myself into?"
Now I need help.
My friends always wanted to do the high rocks, and they wanted to jump off the train trestle or the barrels into the Willamette. And you'd get up there, and there were times where I'd stand in there in the wind, and they'd have like gone and come back up, and I'm like, "Oh my God!" But there's no way down, so eventually you go, but I could have been there all day.
And someone said that what I was talking about, I guess, is called spelunking with the caving.
Oh,
Going
yeah.
in the cave,
Mhm.
spelunking. I guess.
Yeah.
It sounds like something that you'd
Hard
search
pass.
online.
It's insane, dude. I get like while watching these dudes. There's also like stories of like how and the diagrams of how they got stuck, and these guys will climb and crawl into the tiniest little crevasse, and they're crawling. It's not like they can like be on their knees.
Like, I'm all about spelunking when it's a space large enough that I can just like casually stroll through.
I went
but-
to a cave tour in Texas, and we could just walk through it like it was a
Yeah.
hallway. That's why I'm okay with
that's
that.
cool.
I got spelunked in
Base
03.
jumping is not meant for normal.
And it was traumatizing.
Not a great
The
experience.
lawsuit's still in the courts.
Thanks for the call, Big Dog. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
More of your calls and texts coming up. How were you stuck, or how did your kid get stuck, or maybe it was just your friend at a park and they got stuck in one of those swings. 866-445-1059. You can also hit us up on the iHeartRadio app. Download it for your cell phone today. 1059 The Brew, Portland's rock station. Tanner, Drew, and Laura. So Drew's kid got stuck inside the house where they almost had to call 911. It was probably a scary little moment.
Yeah.
Over the course of what, like 10 minutes or so?
It's about 10 minutes. Feels like a half hour.
Yeah, right.
Especially when she's naked and free to roam about a bathroom.
So we want to know, how did you get stuck, or your kid, or a friend of yours? 866-445-1059 is the number. You can also send us a talk back through the iHeartRadio app.
So when I was like 16, skiing in Albuquerque, New Mexico at the local mountain, not a very good skier, made my way through some trees, ended up on a very steep cliff in waist-deep snow, and shouting and screaming for help as I watched people ski by. Ski patrol had to come get me and lower me down with a rope. That was seriously stuck.
Morning, Brew Crew. This is Big John. Yeah, I've been stuck in a bunch of different places, but the funniest ones were the porta potty and the Moda Center.
Yeah, forgot how Big John getting stuck in a seat at the Moda Center.
That's incredible.
He was at the Breaking Benjamin show and he couldn't get out.
And the fact that he knew he was stuck for a long time, trying to enjoy a show.
He just gave us, I'll just deal with this later.
Yeah, later on.
We got some text messages on our McLaughlin Chevrolet text line. This one's from 7785. It says, my wife and I were young and clueless when we got stuck on tiny paddle boards, and it was far too windy to paddle back to shore, but we felt ridiculous to call 911.
So you just sit there and wait for the wind to die down. But
Yeah.
you know what that's like? Like paddleboard in a nice condition is still pretty slow. If the wind is against you,
it's tough.
They say
you're torched.
He says, so we drifted for 60 minutes while we prayed the tide would be in our favor. There was a family of seals following us, clearly laughing.
They're like, how are they going to get themselves out of this mess?
We eventually made it to the opposite shore and waited 2 hours for a local cabbie to pick us up and take us back to our car.
You drifted all the way to the other side. You're lucky there's another side.
Yeah.
This text from 1393 says, I got stuck in a waterbed when I was very pregnant. It just kept rolling back into the center. Everyone at home just laughed at me. I finally got someone to help me out.
Throw me a rope.
They're like, no, we're just going to watch you roll around.
Dude, those are hard to get out of when you're not pregnant.
Yeah, you put a yoga ball under your shirt. It's hard to get going.
How did people sleep on those things? Water,
especially the soft ones where it was like every time you moved, it was like slosh.
Yeah, or the ones who were kind of thin, so your knees would hit the wood board underneath.
If you get all the way to the bottom, I think you need more water.
Awful.
In
Those are just awful. All right, more of your calls and talkbacks coming up here in just a few minutes. Also, have you heard the new Billy Idol song yet? We debuted it this morning. It's called Still Dancing. We'll play it for you coming up here in less than 15 minutes. It's 1059 The Brew, Tanner, Drew, and Laura. There it is, the brand new one from Billy Idol. It's called Still Dancing. I want to know what you think, though, of the song. I think he still got it, man, all these years later.
Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah.
Kind of sounded like Rebel Yell to me, that song.
It's got that same kind of tone and a bit of the same beat.
I want to know what you thought, and people send us some talkbacks through the iHeartRadio app.
Great song by Billy Idol. He was great in the 80s, and he's great today.
All right, got the approval from her.
Yeah.
What do you think? Download the iHeartRadio app for your cell phone, and once you have it, make sure the Brew's streaming, press the microphone button to record a quick message. Happy Wednesday. We're commercial-free on the Brew. Portland's Rock Station, 105.9 The Brew. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. Wanted to tell you real fast about the 50/50 raffle online at 1059thebrew.com. It's to help out ALS Northwest and maybe even yourself.
Nice.
So the whole idea is to get this pot as big as possible. You know, our friend did this on his radio show in Miami, and their show raised over $100,000 for charity. So what happened once they reached $100,000 is they split it. The winner, the listener, won 50% of that pot. The other 50% went to the charity.
Yeah, so it's a win-win. And even if, I mean, it would be great to win the money, of course, but even if you don't, at least you know you've given to a good cause.
Totally. ALS Northwest really needs your help, and you can buy as many raffle tickets as you want. I think there's different packages. You could buy, 4, you could buy 1, you could buy, 400, I guess.
So it breaks down like this. You can get 5 tickets for $10.
Okay.
Or but when you start to go up, like if you spend 25, the tickets go down to $1 a piece. If you spend $50, they're 50 cents a piece.
Okay. Nice.
And when you spend $100, you get 400 tickets.
Hey!
Whoa. It's a good way to up your odds.
You could win 50% of the pot, and the rest goes to ALS Northwest. So go and buy some tickets right now for the 50/50 raffle at 1059thebrew.com. And you have until, I believe, March 11th to do that. But I wouldn't waste any time. So let's get this pot as big as we can make it.
Yep.
And then help some people out and even yourself, right?
Yeah.
1059thebrew.com. Happy Wednesday. We're commercial free with Beck on 1059 The Brew. Let's hear it, Laura. There it is.
Hell. Because you gotta do the growl at the end. Always.
Man, you normally only get that at the Alibi Room. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's a little sneak peek of my Wednesday night if you want to come on out to the Alibi tonight. Yeah.
It's 105.9 The Brew, Tanner, Drew, and Laura. Listen to this. 54% of people think watching porn should stop in serious relationships.
I think that's dangerous to push a hard line like that. What's better in a situation where somebody, you just need to relieve a little bit of the pent up animal in you?
I don't think there's
What's
a problem.
better to drift or to have a video?
I don't think there's a problem until there's a problem. You know what I mean? Like if you're watching adult content over being with your person, it's a problem.
If you're not going to do that because you're watching videos, that's the issue.
Yeah, but I mean, can't you do it without watching the video?
Not once you're dead inside.
Oh, okay, got it.
Well,
Because I feel like your imagination should be good enough.
It's
right?
great when you're 15, but if you like in a world where videos are ever present, people are desensitized just like special effects in a movie.
Yeah.
You can't go back to all this practical effects when your eyes are used to this new version.
I guess.
60% of sexual active adults say, Jesus.
Oh, my.
There you go.
I'm back.
You get it?
Yeah, I think you're good.
All right.
60% of sexually active adults say chatting with an ex could make or break a relationship. Yeah, that's probably not great.
Yeah, I don't.
Unless it's like you got a kid with them or
it
something.
depends on the relationship you have with your. Because if somebody told me, like, if someone I date down the road was like, it makes me uncomfortable that you talk to your ex-husband, I'd be like, too bad.
Yeah,
like,
right.
what?
No, but there's a respect factor there. I mean, if you really care about this person, you don't talk to them over them.
Yeah,
or
I see
Right,
it, but
it's
like,
not like-
knowing Laura and John's relationship, I would feel weird saying like you can't talk to him. Like they're just buds now.
You and I would, but if you were romantic with her, you don't say you can't talk, but like it's like
I
if,
wouldn't
it's
like it probably.
It's
yeah.
like if my ex-girlfriend from college that I dated for years, if we just sometimes text, like, do we need to? Like if I really do love my wife, do I need to be doing that if it's going to make them uncomfortable? I mean, I think it's all about circumstance. If your wife or your husband's like, I don't know, that just feels
totally
weird.
circumstantial.
You compromise.
But I mean,
if you're just
say
friends
no.
and they're okay with it,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it.
But I mean, if I say I'm uncomfortable with you watching pornography, are you going to be like, okay?
Yeah, but you didn't hook up with your phone before. It's a different. There's a lot of other stuff there.
A survey of 2,000 Americans conducted by Talker Research found 23% take issue with their partner watching adult content, and 54% think porn viewership should stop when a relationship gets serious. However, 76% think adult toys are fair game. Whether single, in a relationship, or somewhere in between, exploring together requires openness and mutual respect.
This is a
according to
good
this.
question.
Yeah.
Laura, what is if both items are used to enhance or complete the experience, one being a video, the other being a toy?
Yeah, but if you're
what's the difference?
If you're doing because
what?
The toy isn't a human being.
But the phone isn't either. You don't have an interaction.
Yeah, but
with
you're. I mean, we could go down the rabbit hole with it. It's like I'm not the type of person who, like, when I'm in a relationship, I'm going to tell you to stop watching it. Like, I just know that.
You just wish they wouldn't.
It kind of comes with the territory. I don't want to. And if it's like together, if we're like watching jointly, sure, whatever. But I don't know. I just feel
But
like
that's kind of a novelty.
It just
How
becomes
often?
so normalized where it's like, well, everyone does it. Like, of course I'm going to do it because, I mean, how could I do it without?
It should just be, if you're going to do it, it should be one of those things where it doesn't get in the way and they don't know
Right.
about it. Just keep it to yourself. That's things that you should just keep to yourself.
And
Exactly.
If it's
Keep it
not
in your lane and it's
impacting- And if
fine.
it's not impacting the relationship you have with your significant other, then like
Right.
fine. You know, so I'm not such a prude that I'm like, no, you can't. But I also feel like, and I do feel like the relationship with an ex is a little bit in a different lane because you have had an emotional connection with that person as well, which I feel like maybe is more the problem. But I don't know. It's all stuff that you should talk about with your significant
and it
other
always
and like determine.
to defend your point, it is all case specific.
Right.
You know, some people are truly like brother and sister after they break up, and if you can see that, that's fine.
Listen, babe, I'm going to tell you, I got a whole closet full of weird stuff. Videos, magazines, inflatables.
She's like, well, I've
just
been
need to
keeping
prepare
it
you
from me
now.
because I got one too.
Well, 46% of people say I don't need to throw these out.
Just chill out. Right? So there you go. I just keep it to myself. It doesn't get in the way. And if I do it, it's on my phone in incognito mode, and I keep it to myself.
Just don't open that drawer. I can't explain anything in there.
We are commercial free. Happy Wednesday. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura on The Brew.
Now, what's trending?
Online at 1059thebrew.com. So much good stuff. Footage from the Deftones show last night, which was a blast. First arena tour that they've ever had of their own.
And it felt like it wasn't, because by the looks of the videos, it was rocking.
Dude, sold out crowd. Obviously, Chino lives here now. He even announced it on stage. I wasn't sure because we've known that he's lived here for a couple of months.
But didn't know if it was public knowledge.
Yeah, did he want people knowing that? We already let the cat out of the bag on the air. We couldn't hold it in.
Yeah.
But, did he really want it out there? But he goes, hey, it's my hometown.
He called it a hometown show, so.
Yeah.
He keeps it vague, so even if you're in Gresham, you live right next door to him.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is their next show isn't until tomorrow night in Seattle, so he just could do his show and just go home.
He
That's
went
gotta
home.
be nice. Sleep in your own bed.
Right.
When you're watching Netflix after something like that and it's just you and your dog and it's quiet, it's got to be like, whoa.
Yeah, it's kind of a wild
right?
ride to
That was
make that transition.
From being on the stage in front of a sold-out crowd to watching Severance.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That stuff's online. Go check it out. I was in my stupid little Target outfit.
You made good on it, too.
Yeah.
So you didn't say, come on, I don't want to do it. So tip of the cap.
I did it. I even comb my stupid hair, which I don't do very often.
The khakis, it'd take a while for me to get back into khaki mode.
It did, because I felt uncomfortable, but Laura kept saying they were good.
Yeah,
but
because they weren't like Dockers.
They were
looked
Levi's.
like
They just felt
normal
baggy. They
pants.
felt
Yeah.
baggy to me.
Well, you think about the khakis back. The Lululemons of the world are making
yeah.
buku bucks selling khakis.
I was going to return them, but I think I'll keep them for a special occasion.
Rainy day, or if you want to become a manager of a Safeway.
Just in case, or if I ever need to go back to Target. You know what I mean? I can.
Target, court, wherever.
Yeah.
Also online at 1059thebrew.com. We got our Donkey Show podcast. It's the show after the show. Unedited, uncensored, no commercials, no music, just us talking, which is probably not great.
Yeah, we get ourselves into trouble sometimes.
Yeah, not a good idea, but we do it daily, so go check it out. 1059thebrew.com. Anything else? Go check out the 50/50 raffle. This is a big thing, man. We're trying to help out ALS Northwest and yourself. So the bigger we get this pot, the better it could be for the winners. So a friend of ours did this in Miami, raised like $100,000 for charity. Go online, 1059thebrew.com, and you can look at the raffle ticket packages.
And not just that, you can see the current pot that's in the raffle, what your current payout would be, so you can track it all the way to the end and see how much money you could actually get for both ALS Northwest and yourself.
Check it out, the 50/50 raffle that goes until March 11th, 1059thebrew.com. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. We got more tickets to see the Blazers take on the Pistons, which Laura's excited about because it's her old home team versus her new favorite team. So,
Yeah, buddy.
a little bit of an emotional roller coaster for her.
Yeah.
More tickets tomorrow, 7:30. All right, it's Tanner, Drew, and Laura on the Brew. Bye.